Good afternoon and welcome. My name is John. I am from Orphan Car Garage. I am in Abington, Massachusetts, and I am very excited to present to you the car before us. This is a 1963 Mercury Comet Custom 4-door, affectionately known as Miss Pickles. And we'll get to that in just a couple minutes. But first, I just want to do a quick walk around on this car. Again, 1963 Mercury Comet. The Comet was introduced in 1960, and as you may or may not know, was positioned to be in the Edsel lineup. The Comet was to be an Edsel. So when the Edsel was unceremoniously dismissed from production in late 1959, it kind of left the Comet program a little bit in limbo. It was decided late that it would be sold through Lincoln Mercury dealers, but it was to be labeled only as a Comet. So in 1960 and 1961, the car before us would have been labeled simply Comet, its own brand, basically, because it was left as an orphan by the Edsel company, the Edsel trademark, the Edsel name, the Edsel brand. It was kind of left as an orphan, but still good enough to continue on in the Ford production. So kind of lost its way for a couple of years and was just simply branded Comet and was sold through Lincoln Mercury dealers. It wasn't until 1962 that the car was actually labeled a Mercury, such as our 1963 model here in front of us. Mercury sold quite a bit of these cars in 1963. I believe about 27,500 Mercury Comet custom 4-doors were built and sold. Shared a lot of its underpinnings with the Falcon. I've always considered these cars sort of a luxury Falcon. Little details that Mercury did over and above the Falcon, like these cool emblems here, the gun sights, so to speak, there on the fenders. And I love these little doors here for the lock cylinder. There we go. Kind of a neat feature, kind of a luxury feature on a small car. So yes, it's kind of a fancy Falcon, but I kind of like that it's a fancy Falcon, and you don't see them as often as you do the Falcons. Of course, the Falcon outsold these cars quite a bit, so you never saw them much when they were new. Even though they built 27,500, they probably built 3 times as many and sold 3 times as many Falcon 4-door sedans in the Futura trim. This would have been considered a Futura trim. Mercury called it a custom. Again, 4-door sedan. This car has been meticulously restored. I purchased this car myself, probably, I'd have to look, I'm going to say about 6 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And this was part of my own personal collection for several years. It was the crown jewel of my collection. When people came into my shop or my garage and they saw this car, they were literally wowed by it. A custom 4-door sedan, I know, but it was absolutely unbelievable the amount of craftsmanship that went into the restoration of this car. We believe that this was a low mileage, probably a one-owner survivor when that gentleman took it over and had it lovingly restored. The trim on this car is like new. The bumpers, absolutely perfect. The bezels, as you can see, all that trim, the grille, all that stainless trim or aluminum trim, it's perfect. If it's not original, it's NOS. These parts are generally not reproduced by anybody. So if this car doesn't have its original trim, when it was repainted, the trim was replaced with NOS. It's that perfect. I suspect that it's original. The car is incredibly solid, sold new in Rhode Island, believe it or not. Unbelievable survivor from New England. Car was obviously loved by its original owner. Its original owner, you ask? Beatrice Pickles. That's where her name came from. And I'm not one to name cars, never have been, but this car deserved to be named in Miss Pickles' honor. We have a copy of the original bill of sale when it was sold new, and the original owner's name was, yes, Beatrice Pickles. I could definitely see a Beatrice Pickles driving this car. I picture her as being a librarian or a school teacher. Obviously, she loved this car enough that it deserved to be kept in her name. So I named this car Miss Pickles. Kept this car, like I said, in my personal collection for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. I just couldn't let it go. until about a year ago. And a couple of friends of mine live not too far from here, came into the shop, absolutely fell in love with Miss Pickles, as everybody did that ever saw the car. Got me on the right day. I knew they were going to be the right caretakers for her. The car would be taken care of. They had a climate-controlled garage, so forth and so on. So I made the difficult decision to sell this car to them. Here it is again. I've now taken it back on consignment here at Orphan Car Garage, and I'm going to assist them in selling it. But I have a vested interest in this car as well, because I feel like this car is part of me. Absolutely outstanding. The hubcaps, the wheel covers on the car are like brand new. Again, NOS, original, I don't know. Sadly, from my research back then, it appeared that the gentleman that restored the car, that purchased it probably from the Pickles family, had passed away. So sadly, with him went all the details on this car. But the car absolutely, positively speaks for itself. This blue is an original color. Mercury called it Pacific Blue. Sets the car off beautifully. Again, beautiful trim, handles, all the bright work. Car does not have the optional backup lights. If it did, there would be a third light on the inboard of each side serving as a backup light. This car does not have the optional backup lights, nor does it have the optional V8 engine. This has the 170 cubic inch straight six. Very reliable, certainly no rocket ship. I drove this car quite a bit. Definitely have to plan your hill climbs, especially if you've got some friends in the car with you. Car is also equipped with the Mercury 2-speed automatic transmission. The car runs and drives just as good as it looks. Interior, believed to be completely original. Perfect door panels. I mean, nobody's really reproducing those except maybe SMS, but I think they're original. Nice sill plates. You won't really find any rust on this car at all. Beautiful fabric on the back seat. Appears to be all original. Nice headliner with some minor staining up there. But overall, very nice condition. I wouldn't touch it. It's original. Of course, there's your ashtray for your back seat passengers. Every car got an ashtray back then, or every passenger got an ashtray. Front door panels just as good as the back. I apologize for the shadowing in the sun, but I'm not going to complain that the sun is out. There's not a cloud in the sky today. It's gorgeous. We deserve it. Front seat, again, no perforations in that fabric or vinyl, just impeccable and believed to be completely original. $75,122 on the miles. And our Massachusetts title backs that up as actual. Can I guarantee that it's actual? No. Do I believe that it's actual? Yes. Original AM radio, and it works. 2-speed automatic transmission. All the gauges work. There are no issues with this car whatsoever. It's completely turnkey. I'm going to start it up for you now. Starts right up. This sun visor is a little separated here at the seam. I don't know if you can see that. There's a paper clip there. Couple little bubbles on the quarter panel I want to point out right there. Nothing else anywhere else. I do have pictures of the undercarriage that are available on my website. There's a bubble over here too. Right there. That's it on the whole car. Show you the engine compartment. Once I remember where there it is. Every car is different, and I gotta remember where all the latches are. That little 170 cubic inch straight six. fuel pump and fuel filter are recent. Very tidy engine bay. Sounds like a sewing machine. So there you have it. 1963 Mercury Comet Custom 4-door, aka Miss Pickles, available for a short time only here at Orphan Car Garage in Abington, Mass, for the unbelievably low price of $14,900. The paint job on this car costs more than that. The paint on this car, again, is absolutely outstanding. I can't say that enough. Definitely a show quality paint job on this car. $14,900 gets you the paint job and the car. Give me a call, 508-954-8090. Check me out on the web. I got a bunch of pictures of this car on my website, orphancargarage.com. Like us on Facebook. The car will be posted there. And of course, subscribe to us here on YouTube. And you'll see all our new arrivals and cars for sale. And you'll see from my past videos that they don't last. Most of them are marked sold. I suspect this one will be soon enough also. My name is John once again, Orphan Car Garage, Abington, Mass. Thanks for joining today. I hope you enjoyed. Comment below. And of course, subscribe. Thank you.